I got the email like as well. We were on like the phone for buying our house for one, so like
Oh my God.
we were already making like a big life move, and then I got the email like on the call, and he's like trying to wire the money, and I'm like freaking out on the other side.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Friendlies. I'm Sarah Mewis, and today I get to talk to one of the NWSL and US Women's National Team's most exciting young players, a center back who simply demands attention. It's the Washington Spirit's own Tara McKeown. Tara, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to chat with you. Here at the Women's Game, we've been talking about you all NWSL season, and even before the NWSL season, we were putting together a list of players to watch before the season started. And it was right around the time you made your US Women's National Team debut. So obviously it was such a no-brainer to include you in the list. You're so dynamic, light on your feet, but you also really anchor the Spirit's back line. And you've been one of the only players who seems to be able to stop Barbara Banda, which we'll get to a little bit later. But you also have a hidden talent, Tara. You're really silly on TikTok. And I actually see that you make videos with your fiance, Carson, and a lot of them are dancing videos. So my first question is like, who's the creative force and what is your rehearsal process like?
Well, honestly, I just follow the trends. So I see a TikTok trend and I didn't know you would see it. I don't really have that many followers on TikTok. I just do it for fun, honestly. And he's a good sport. Whatever like I want to do, he's totally in. So it's fun to make, like whenever we're together, it's fun to make videos, TikToks, whatever.
I know. It's so fun. We were recently all together, the group that I work with, and we have a social media manager. And so she was having me make all these TikToks. And I think that I was like so intimidated by it because I'm like a little bit older and like, I don't know, maybe millennials aren't as good on social media, but it was actually really fun and like not as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and you're not you're not that old.
That old? I'm only 32.
Yeah. No, it's like fun. You're just having fun on there.
I know. Okay. All right. Well, I feel better. Maybe I'll even like make a TikTok.
Yeah, you
I
should.
don't know. Okay, well, I also saw your engagement picture, so congratulations. And I don't want to sound, old like your aunt or anything, but do you guys have a date or any wedding plans yet?
Not that many plans, honestly. Like my mom and his mom always ask me, and I feel like I might be behind, but we do have a date.
How did you guys meet? And like, did it sound like you're doing long distance or are you together all the time?
No, yeah, we do long distance. We met in high school, so we've actually known each other for like 10 years now. We haven't been together that whole time. Not like high school sweethearts, but
this literally sounds like my relationship. Me and my husband Pat met in high school and then we on and off dated.
Yes.
And then we like did long distance for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, now we do long distance. He's currently in Louisville. He's with the AAA team of the Reds. So
oh wow.
Yeah. So it's definitely hard. I don't like it, but it's worth it.
I know. I mean, I've been there. You guys will get through it and someday it will just all be so worth it. Okay, this is not a relationship podcast. I want to go all the way back to your roots. I know that you grew up in Southern California and it really feels like California just in general must just be home to a really vibrant youth soccer scene. It's where we've gotten players like Kristen Press, Naomi Girma, Alex Morgan. And I know that like the good weather year round is obviously pretty conducive to playing soccer year round. And so that helps create good players. But what else do you think makes Southern California so good at developing these world-class talents?
Because there are so many people there, it's a competition from like the youngest ages. Like there's always people playing the sport in California. It's not like, oh, there's only like one team in your area. There's a lot of teams. So even growing up from like, I have a picture of me and like Ashley Sanchez when we were like 7 and 8 playing against each other and we look so tiny, but it's like from that early on, we have like really good competition and great coaches. I'd say for me, definitely helped me.
Yeah, it just seems like such a hotbed. I know you started playing on your first youth national teams when you were 14, but as you moved up through the rosters, it seems like you were swinging back and forth between playing as a forward and playing as a defender, and that's actually going to be kind of a theme of this interview, this transition from playing different positions. I know that youth national team camps are so competitive, and so I imagine that at some point you might have like started wanting to solidify yourself into one position and maybe like staking your claim on that. Did the transitioning back and forth between positions at that early age ever give you anxiety or make you worry that you like weren't staking a claim on any one position?
Yeah, I think definitely, but I also feel like I was from that young age like up for the challenge and up for playing wherever they needed me and wherever like I could be on the team. That was my main goal. So if they wanted me to play outside back, okay. If they wanted me to play forward, great. Like wherever they wanted, I was gonna give it my like best shot and to make that team or like make the World Cup roster at that time.
That resonates with me. I think in those environments that are so competitive, you do just listen to, I mean, even still now in the NWSL and on the national team, you do just listen to the coach. Like whatever they see in you is what you want to emulate and give off and provide. I know that you continued playing both positions throughout college at USC. Did you know I went to UCLA?
Yes.
So we're rivals.
Yeah. That's okay. Ash is one of my best friends and we're rivals too.
Okay, yeah.
We can still be
enough.
friends.
Okay, good. Oh my God, I'm so glad. Okay, so then you got drafted for the Spirit in 2021 as a forward. And I'm curious then, like, what do you think it was about you that had the NWSL coaches see you as an attacker? Like, what traits of yours do you think were valued by the Spirit who drafted you as a forward?
Going into my junior year, that's when I kind of had like the breakout forward year. So I feel like after that year, I was able to like establish myself as someone who's able to get in behind, but then also holding the ball up. Like I was pretty strong and physical. I feel like I still kind of am. So like there's obviously some forwards who are just like really quick and fast and like can get through, but like I was kind of more of a true 9 where I could just like hold the ball up, wait for the play to happen, and then I was usually in like the right place, the right time, and scoring a lot of goals at that time.
Yeah. How would you describe the transition from college to the NWSL? Like, what was your rookie year like?
It was definitely hard. I think you don't really realize how much the competition like jumps because in college, obviously, like you're playing at a top college, everyone's good as well. But then when you get to the league, it's like, wow, okay, everyone's like stronger, faster. That was a little bit of an adjustment for me going into my rookie year. I think I only scored like 1 goal when I was used to scoring a lot in college. So it was kind of like a hit, but then just like adapting to it and being like, okay, well, like what can I do to make myself better in this environment?
I mean, your team had a lot of success that year too. You guys won the championship. What was that like? Coming straight into the league, winning the championship, you're adjusting to this transition. Did you kind of feel like, oh my gosh, this is was it all good, or were there things that you saw in the Spirit or in yourself that you wanted to improve and change?
Definitely wasn't like all great. I mean, it was only like that was all that I knew in the league so far. So it was like, okay, like I'm having a fun time. But then like older players like Hatch and Andy and Aubrey, they like knew. Obviously our club at that time wasn't amazing, so it was like the adjustment of I'm still having a good time, but like other people see what's going on behind the scenes. But I feel like that just brought our team a lot closer together, and that's how we were able to like make it that far and win the championship.
I know what you mean, how when you're young, you don't even really know what to make of all of it. I know that you missed part of your second season with the Spirit due to injury, but that was a time where the club was kind of going through this tumultuous time following the championship season. There were several coaching changes over the next couple of years. And I'm kind of going to bring us back to this position thing because I wonder how those series of coaching changes might have played into the changing role for you on the field. Do you remember any specific conversations with any of your club coaches for the Spirit that gave you insight into your playing time as a forward or your potential as a defender, or how you started to think about your role professionally?
Honestly, not really. When I kind of got told that they wanted to try me out or center back, I was like completely shocked because I didn't really have an inkling of it. I remember at like the last game, I was playing like outside forward, and I remember like our defensive coach like coming up to me after the game. Obviously the season was like over for us, and he was like, oh, like we're going to be spending a lot of time together. And I was like, interesting.
What?
Like maybe they want to try me at outside back. I don't know. Like, and then I go into my one-on-one meeting, like end of season meeting with, it was our GM at the time, Mark Kokorian, and he like brought up being a center back, and I was shook because I thought I was like going in there. I was like, okay, maybe like outside back, like they convert forwards to outside back all the time, but I did not realize that they were thinking a center back.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy that it's not really a more common thing. I think that when you described yourself earlier as a forward, like your size, your ability to hold up play, your ability to like be strong on the ball, that does have like center back tendencies to it. But like you said, transitioning from outside forward to outside back, it happens all the time. It's not really that like crazy of a change. When your team and your GM started telling you that, were you nervous? Or was it like an adventure? Like, how did you feel?
Right at the time, I was really nervous. I think I actually cried because I was like, oh, they think like I'm not doing well as a forward. Like, maybe they're just saving great, like just to keep me on the team. I don't know. They want to try me somewhere else. I had to tell them like, okay, I need time to think about it. And like, we can have another meeting because this is all new to me. So then when I went back in for my other meeting and he like explained why he's thinking this, like, he thinks my tendencies would make for like a great center back, not just like just to keep you on the team. Like he thinks I could actually like exceed and like stand out there. So I took his word for it and just tried to start learning that position as best as I could.
Yeah. So in your experience playing defender when you were younger, was it more outside back than center back?
Yeah. I think I only played center back like once for like a national team. I think we were in South Korea and it was like U15. And maybe it was like
so long ago.
Yeah. And the rest of the time only played like outside back. College was outside back.
I know this, but can you explain like outside back and center back are totally different? Why is that?
Outside back is kind of as well, I would say it's like more like the forward. Like you are doing a lot of like 1v1 defending and keeping the ball wide, trying to block the crosses, but it's also like you're getting more into the attack and like doing things that like forwards do, getting crosses and stuff like that. But at center back, it's like you have to make sure your positioning is like 100% all the time, or else like a forward's going to run behind your back and like go straight to goal. It's also like 1v1 defending in like open spaces. It's holding the line together, like keeping the line, defending in the box. Like that was something so new to me, is like, oh, am I zonal? Am I marking? I don't know. Like at outside back, I feel like you're just like marking your player, but at center back, you have to like be aware of like everything that's happening around you. So it was definitely like a change from what I was used to.
Yeah. I mean, I think, well, one, I think it demonstrates like your capacity for growth and learning, which is so impressive and amazing. I played center back like a few times in training, like not like I think for club teams throughout the year, as you know, when you're maybe on the subs team or the numbers are off and they move players around, whatever. And the thing that was so hard for me was like, when the line is moving, you can't be one step in front of the rest of your defenders or one step behind, because the forward will either be onside because of you or they'll be onside because of you either way.
Yeah.
And it's like terrifying, especially I imagine against such talented forwards, because who knows how the line is moving? Like I was like, are you guys all reading each other's minds? How do you know when you're stepping and dropping? So I thought it was wild. It was so hard. But for you, it does seem like you kind of had a knack for it. In that 2023 season, you led league defenders in clearances per 90 minutes. You were tied for second for most block shots. And reportedly, I don't know if you know this, you didn't register a single error all season. Which
that's gotta be false.
I was like, that's a crazy stat. I don't even know what an error is in soccer, but
me either, but I think that's gotta be false.
I think it's out there, so I would own it if I was
I'll
you.
take it.
I remember watching you play in that season, and you were making like really gutsy tackles inside the box, which obviously is so effective, but it's dangerous. One little miscalculation and you could obviously like get cut by your player, you could trigger a PK, but you looked so fearless, and you were really only a handful of games into playing this position at the highest level. You have said in other interviews that being a forward helped you anticipate what forwards might do, but emotionally for you as like this young player in the league, How did it feel to take such a big risk and kind of have it pay off with your performance and your season going so well?
Yeah, it's been great, honestly. Like, I went into that year and I didn't really have that big of expectations because it was a new position. Like, the league is so good. So I kind of like, I went into it like, I just don't want to look like a fool. Like, I don't want to be the person on like the highlight reel getting like done by Sophia Smith, which I probably still was.
What a nightmare.
But yeah, exactly. But I think after I started like trusting myself and the coaches and like what I've been learning, I have a fun time back there now. Like when people ask me what my position is, I say center back. I used to like waver, but
Explain.
now, yeah, exactly. Now I like it and I like have fun and I have fun like leading the line and playing out of the back and making those gutsy tackles. It's like, it puts a smile on my face.
Oh my gosh, that is so
Yeah.
fun. I love it. I used to hate defending, but I like to
too.
think that it could have grown on me because, like you say, it feels like you have a lot of ownership over the position. You have been such a big part of the Spirit's success, especially last year in 2024. You were an Iron Woman. You played every single minute of every game. You scored the goal that kept the Spirit alive in the quarterfinal game. And this felt like a really big moment, Tara, where like everybody became so much more aware of you, not just on the field for your incredible performances all year, but also off of it, because right after you scored, we learned the gut-wrenching story about how you had to choose between playing in this playoff game and your sister's wedding. And
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. It sounds like such a difficult decision to make. And as, you know, also somebody who had to choose between important things all the time, again, it sounds really, really hard. Can you give us a little bit of insight into what went into that decision and just like maybe talk us through the situation?
A lot of people at the time were saying like, why would her sister do this to her? Like, obviously, like it's her job. She has to play. But first off, like the year before, we were done like a month earlier. So it was like,
Yeah.
oh, and you have to book your venues like a year
I
before.
know.
So we went looking like in November when I was like fully on off season. Anyways, so that's that. It was not her fault. Like it was the best day of her life and their lives. And I'm sad that I had to miss it, but
Yeah.
we have a job to do. And at that point, it was my job to be there for my team and like do the best I can at the quarterfinal game. And as hard as it was, like my sister knows that she like totally supports me, knows I made like the right decision. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely so hard. You're missing a lot of your families and like all these big events because of our job. But I mean, it's still like the best job in the world. So like sometimes it's hard and you miss the important things,
Yeah.
but hopefully I'll be at like their first anniversary or something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, I hope so. That does sound so hard. And there's really no like, you know, like easy answer. I think it's like sometimes you make these huge sacrifices for the sport and for this as a job and your passion, your career. Did you play soccer with your sister growing up?
Yeah.
So I imagine that she must have, like, to some level, totally understood and supported you, and that's amazing. And what I was also going to say is I hope that, you know, the things that have happened since have made the decision feel like positives have come from it as well. We're going to get to that in a second. I know that season, after you scored that amazing goal, you kept the Spirit in the playoffs. You made it all the way to the final, which you lost. But you were a finalist for and these are some of the good things. You were a finalist for Defender of the Year. You made the NWSL second best 11 for your standout season. And this was the year that you really like made your mark on the league as a defender. So I kind of want to go back to some of these traits that you have that make you a good defender. When you're up against one of the league's seemingly unstoppable forwards, which seems like you're doing every week, what are you thinking about? Like, what things do you find serve you well on the field when you're trying to defend Barbara Banda, for example?
She's a great player. Like the film that we have on the player and like the coaching points I get, I feel it really helped me throughout the game because I'm going to go into each game defending like someone a different way. Like Barbara Banda, I know she's faster than me. I know she's stronger than me. So like, I'm not going to try and get myself in like a foot race with her. Yeah. So just like taking away kind of what their best attributes are and hopefully being able to do that the whole game.
I know. Sorry, I keep making this about me, but I remember having to defend Marta when I played in the league. And like literally, I just would back up because I just didn't want to get magged. I've told this story so many times in this podcast, but I just remembered I just dropped 20 yards and I was just like, you're going to have to pass it because like I'm not engaging. Like you just have to pass it. Okay, you also mentioned, we talked a little bit earlier about your decision to like go to ground when you're in the box and knowing how risky that is. When you're making that decision and you're like, okay, I'm sliding, what factors are you weighing? Or is it just instinct?
I feel like at that point it's just instinct because I realized like there was times when my coaches were like that, like no tackling in the box, like because I didn't, knock on wood, but someone on my team did give up a PK because of that. So they were like, oh, we need to keep our feet. And then at that time, like if you're second guessing it, then I feel like that's when you get the timing wrong or something. So if I see the opportunity and like the window opens and I know I can win the ball, I'm going for it.
Good. Great. No second guessing. I like love that. I know exactly what you mean. I think from the outside, there are so many things that make your Washington Spirit team special. From the top down, you've got Michelle King, who's changing the entire women's sports business. Then your coach, Yona Heraldez, is so energized and passionate. Would you say that there's like a secret sauce maybe to this Spirit team that we on the outside as fans don't know about?
I don't know, because like you guys know, like we know about Michelle, we know about Jonah, like they're great people, they're great coaches, they're investing in us like every day. So maybe like just the relationships the girls have, I feel like a lot of teams are like, oh, we're so close, we're like, but we're like actually like really close and we love like hanging out with each other. We love each other. And if we have a bad day or a bad game, like we're not going to turn on each other. It's going to just like keep us more tight knit and like figure out the problem together. And then hopefully it won't happen again. So I feel like we have a lot of trust in each other.
I think it's so evident that your team has great leadership, both like inside the locker room with the players on your team, like Andy Sullivan, like some of the players you've mentioned, and from the top down, like Michelle King and Jonah Heraldez. I was alluding to some good things that came out of this sacrifice you had to make about your sister's wedding earlier. And we're going to get into another huge one because right after that big performance in the 2024 playoffs, you got called into the U.S. Women's National Team camp. And despite all of your youth team experience, it still took 4 years of being a pro for you to get your first call up. And that might have felt like a long time. I would love to hear. Was there a moment in there where you ever like doubted if it was on the table or if you would become part of the national team conversation?
Well, I feel like I've kind of lived like two different lives in the league because I was a forward for like 2 years and I probably did doubt that a lot because I saw like the talent of like Sophia and Trin and Mal and everyone who was like steady on that team at the time. I was like, okay, like maybe that's not going to work out for me, even though I was trying my hardest still. But once I became a center back and then even that first year, I feel like I started to have like faith in myself and like in what Mark saw in me and to get me to switch that I saw the dream like getting closer and closer. So I definitely like when I became center back, I think that's when I thought I could definitely like hopefully be on the national team.
Yeah. When you say, and you're talking about Mark Krikorian, right? Who the GM that you first started talking to about this. When he had that meeting with you and suggested it, did he say like you could be a national team center back?
Yeah, he said like that he thinks that would be my best shot of being on the national team. So when he said that, I was like, okay, let's do it.
Okay, I like totally get that. I remember when I was deciding where to go. It's like that's the thing you want to hear, and I feel like if anybody says that to you, you're like, okay. When I was deciding where to go to college, I like had basically decided to go to UCLA. Yeah. And then Anson Dorrance called me from UNC and he goes, I think come here and I think you'll be on the national team. And I like stopped for a second and I was like, that's the only thing I want. So like, I guess I have to go to UNC. And I like didn't, and it ended up working out fine. But I like totally understand the power that statement has because you grow up your whole life and that's what we all want. And like, anybody saying that to you that you believe and like trust has just like a lot of sway.
Yeah.
So you get this call into the national team. How did you react? Who did you tell first?
Actually day I got the email, I was doing like a second Christmas with my fiance's family because we did Christmas at my house that year. So then like 2 days later, we were Christmas at his house.
Okay.
And I got the email like as well, we were on like the phone for buying our house for one. So like
my God.
we were already making like a big life move. And then I got the email like on the call and he's like trying to wire the money and I'm like freaking out on the other side. And then when he got off the phone, like I told him and yeah, I did cry. I'm a crier, so
Oh my God, I'm like cry. I have tears in my eyes hearing this story, so like I'm a crier too.
yeah. I cried. I was so happy. I told his parents, obviously, because they were there. And then I called my whole family group chat and told them too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we know that your mom is like a huge fan of you.
Yes.
We need to shout out her Instagram, Mama McKeown. It's the source for all Tara updates. What did your family say?
I'm pretty sure my mom cried as well. She's a crier too. So they were all just so happy for me. They like knew that this has been my dream. I mean, since even playing growing up. So they were so excited and like just over the moon happy for me.
That's like so amazing. I also imagine that knowing that you would have some of your Washington Spirit teammates with you in camp, Hal Hirschfeld and Ashley Hatch, helped. I know how scary your first camp can be. How did they or any of your other now national team teammates help you adjust?
Yeah, I think it was a great first camp for like me and like other new girls to go into because there was a lot of new faces. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like I was like the odd one out. Yeah. Like there was a lot of new faces. And then also having Hal and Ash, that was amazing because first off, I hadn't seen them like all the off season. So we were able to catch up and like just have fun. And then like Sanchez was there. Even like that camp, I feel like it was really great for like me and Sonnet to like kind of establish more of like we were able to play together. And then she was just helping like me and like all the center backs as she does because she's like amazing. So yeah, I think it was like a great first camp to go to and I had a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, you mentioned Sonnet, and it actually coincidentally brings me to my next question because I think something that happens a lot at this level is that players get really specialized to their position. And so what you're able to do, especially at this level, is similar in a way to Sonnet, who is a really versatile player. Crystal Dunn is another great example. Mm-hmm. Sonnet can play multiple positions, and I actually think that her versatility is serving her really well. It seems like she's become one of Emma Hayes' first picks for roster spots. When you think about a player like that, somebody who really welcomed you into your first camp and who you feel you're learning from, how do you think about versatility and like what that can bring to a roster?
Sonnet said this a lot because I was there when she was her 100 cap ceremony. So like the night before she did her little speech and she said like play a bunch of positions so that if they say you're like not the best outside back, then you're another center back, like you're another six, which I feel like served her very well and with the national team. And like, that's a great point. You can play more than one position. So like if they need like a versatility player or someone who can play, I don't know, forward at one point. No, I'm not going to play forward there.
I mean, Tara, literally, I know you didn't ask, but it's like, I think about this about Sonnet all the time, especially on an Olympics roster, how valuable that is to have somebody who you're like, yeah, if we need her, if we're losing and she's on the field and we need Tara to go up and play double nines up there, like it's so valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is very valuable. And I think it's great for Sonnet as well. Like she said she like made a career out of playing like every position. I was like, I think that's amazing.
I love her. I don't know if you can tell, but like Sonnet is like my hero. And so I'm so glad that you and her are getting a chance to play together. You got your first cap in the next camp after that first January camp. And it was against Colombia in the She Believes Cup. What an introduction to the international game. This game was an intense physical battle. We won 2-0. Were you surprised by the level of physicality, or was there anything else maybe surprising to you about the level of play in that game?
Well, first off, I was like really nervous. I was like having to deal with like that, like obviously your dreams coming true, but like wanting to play well and like you're playing at the highest level. So just being locked in. But I remember like I think it was like 3 minutes into the game, there was like a through ball, and I went to like pass it back to Jane, and I just get like trucked. And it's like
I remember
Ramirez.
that. That's why I asked you this question, is because I was like, oh, it was so early.
Yes, I was like, oh my gosh, like here we go. But I think it was great that it happened that early,
Yeah.
because I was like, okay, like you gotta be turned on, and like she's gonna hit you, so get used to it.
Oh my gosh, that must have been like a really crazy first experience. How was your experience after the game? Like, I know the ceremony of kind of getting your first cap ball and the team almost like welcoming you in a whole new way. How did that feel for you?
Yeah, it was great as well. I feel like I also like during that ceremony and stuff, I like usually I'm like a talker and I like can talk, but I was just like still I feel like shocked from the game, and like that I got a first cap. So when like Lindsay handed me the ball and they were like saying speech, I was like, thank you. Like I didn't know I was like at a loss for words at that moment, because it was like just so crazy that I actually played in a national team game.
I know. It's really, really cool. In that moment, like around that time, did you have any reflection on the decision to change positions from forward to defender?
Yes, but also like definitely when I got my first call up to the January camp, I was like, okay, like Mark was right. Like this really paid off.
Did you
So,
did you talk to him?
yeah.
Was he like, what did he say?
Well, he like texted me when the roster came out and was like, congratulations, like I knew this was coming. And I just like thanked him for like believing in me and helping me with that transition from forward to center back, and like yeah, really just believing in me and like believing that I could be there.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. I like really, really love that. This is our last question, Tara. I have had the best time. I've loved hearing from you and getting to hear about like your mindset on and off the field. It feels like you're somebody who is willing to really do whatever it takes to get the best performance out of themselves, but also from your team. I think like talking about Sonnet, talking about Crystal Dunn, it's so exciting to think about you as another version of these players, like hopefully going to represent us at these big national tournaments, bring this versatility, bring this great experience. So as the 2027 World Cup gets closer and that roster starts to take shape with friendlies and smaller tournaments between now and then, what do you imagine for yourself? Like, what role do you hope to play for the national team, and where do you see yourself in 2027?
Well, I definitely hope I'm on the roster at that point. So, like, that's like obviously the main goal is to be on the World Cup roster. But I feel like from now until then, it's just growing and like developing my game. I know that I've had like a few caps with the national team, but there's definitely things that I can improve. And just working like with Emma or Denise to improve there. And then also like my spirit coaches, I'm just looking to get better like every day and be the best version of myself when that tournament does come around. So I will be like an easy choice for Emma to bring.
That sounds like such a great perspective. Can you imagine yourself lifting a World Cup trophy?
I mean, I smile like thinking about it. Like that would be obviously a dream come true. And I feel like that's the goal for a lot of us playing like professional soccer. So if it ever does come to that, I think I probably will be crying again out of happiness.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I'm like so excited for you. I truly have loved getting to know you. Thank you so much for doing this interview, and good luck with the Spirit and good luck with the national team. I'll be cheering for you.
Thank you. It was great to meet you, Sam. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, you too. Tara, if I run into you now, I'm going to like consider us friends and give you a big hug.
Yes. Yes, me too. Okay, good. We're on the same page.
Thank you all so much for listening. I swear, the more I chat with players who I didn't know beforehand, the more I realize how fun this new generation of players are. Tara was so great and spoke with so much wisdom about her position changing, her journey to the national team, and how she's balancing club and country now. I am a huge fan. Next week, we're pulling a fast one on you all. We're swapping the days we normally do good vibes and friendlies. So I'm very excited to announce that friendlies with Fallon Tullis-Joyce, U.S. Women's National Team and Manchester United goalkeeper, is dropping on Tuesday, 2 days early. Good Vibes will drop later in the week. We'll review the U.S. Women's National Team camp, and we're going to get ready for what's next in the NWSL. All right, everybody, one more reminder to tune into our TWG Lives after both U.S. Women's National Team games coming up. We'll see you there.